in the Rendezvous, and we're sitting on the rooftop of Aon Benfield's headquarters, and we're going to talk to Goran Trendafiloski, who is a seismologist and an expert on earthquakes and the damage they cause. You tell us a bit, just generally, what types of damage does an earthquake cause?
Thanks first for inviting me, Charlie, and just to go directly to your question. Earthquakes are terrifying from one simple reason. We don't know when they can happen. Their severity is very hard to understand and to handle. And the destruction or the losses they are making are various and can be localized or widespread. So they are affecting our properties suddenly. They are affecting the population suddenly. They are affecting our businesses as well. That's also very important to mention, because in this modern civilization, the business interruption is coming, and another phenomena called as post-loss amplification or demand surge is becoming an emerging need to model and to understand. So it's just not knowing what is the potential primary loss, but all this chain of losses that are caused or secondary effects of the earthquake is very important to know.
Yes, because it isn't just buildings falling down, is it? It causes, I guess you might describe it as a chain reaction of different things, fires and burst water mains and that kind
exactly. Earthquake as a natural phenomena is followed by so-called secondary peril. So there are different secondary perils that can appear after an earthquake. So our memories are still fresh from the terrible tsunami that happened in Japan in 2011. Then a year ago there was also a strong tsunami in Chile as well. So that is one of the secondary perils that happened. Then a fire following earthquake. We all know the effect that happened in the United States during the San Francisco, the big 1960 big San Francisco earthquake. Then the fire following earthquake was happened in Loma Prieta, in Northridge earthquakes. In Japan, always is happening due to the building structures that exist there. And earthquakes can cause landslides that can affect the properties, but they are less widespread, they are more localized, but the ones I mentioned, tsunami and fire following, they are widespread, and they contribute very much to the overall loss caused by earthquake.
And as you've said, there's no way to predict an earthquake, is there? Where it will hit and when?
Yes, maybe for us it's very important to understand the frequency of earthquake can happen, and in our models, in fact, we are trying to catch up all possibilities, because we are building probabilistic models and also deterministic models. And with our probabilistic models, in fact, we are trying to catch all possibilities that can happen, different different magnitudes of earthquake, different frequencies. So from that point of view, we are kind of safe of and to know the range of possible losses.
Okay, and that's I guess everywhere that an earthquake is possible.
Yes.
California, obviously, Japan, anywhere.
Sure. Yeah. I mean, theoretically, earthquake is possible everywhere, and that is why we work internationally, and we are producing models that are everywhere where the business requests. But there are more zones that are more seismically active, such as you mentioned, California or Japan or Asia. But there are some regions that are less seismically active.
Yeah, I mean, they do happen elsewhere as well. Is there anything, I mean, does the construction, the type of buildings, does that make a difference in your models? Do you incorporate the types of structures and things?
The types of structure is a dynamic category. It was changing through the history. So if you look at what was the situation in the past and now, the types of structure are changed. Mm-hmm. So in our modeling, we are trying to understand, and that is why we are working with our clients and to explain them and to work with them to understand what are the building properties in the respective portfolio, because that's very important to know and to get a reliable loss estimates for those cases. And in our latest models, we are trying to have the highest possible spatial and also a building properties resolution. It means if we know what is the structure, when the period of construction, the position, then if a certain level of seismic design was taken into consideration while it's built. That is very important. So knowing more information is giving us a right to build the more appropriate, let me say, damage curves for certain property.
Yes, because I know that the Chilean earthquake was extremely powerful, but it actually didn't cause near as much damage as like the Sichuan earthquake in China.
Yes, exactly. If we are talking just in terms of building damage.
Yeah.
But the overall loss was not negligible, including the insurance loss.
It wasn't negligible, but it could have been a lot worse, I think, if the building codes hadn't been very, very strict.
Yes, exactly. And that is what, in fact, the existence of building codes help us very much to incorporate a new damage curves and new building loss curves within our models. That's very important to know if it exists or not. And basically, the most of the structures that are taken under insurance conditions, they in fact are buildings that mostly conform with the seismic design.
Okay.
I mean that insurers are maybe careful when they underwrite some building types.
Yeah. And something like the quake in Italy last year, it's a very old country, and there were lots of very old medieval buildings, and the results were pretty horrible. I guess that figures into the models as well.
Yes, for sure. In our models, we incorporate not just region-specific, but also a country-specific vulnerability curves. So, because we cannot translate simply the existing solutions from one region to another region. It's quite different. We don't work like that. Yeah.
Okay, Goran, thank you so much.